Good evening. It's my pleasure to welcome everyone to the July 14th, 2026 Verona Borough Council business meeting. Please join us if you're able in standing for our Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please, Mr. Russell.
Councilman Sperling.
Present.
Councilman Develis.
Present.
Councilman Rodriguez. Councilman Carpenter.
Present.
Councilwoman Redzak.
Present.
Councilwoman Provenza.
Present.
Mayor Recupero.
Present.
Are there any additional agenda items from council? Very good. We will move on then to a very exciting moment for our community tonight, item 5. I'd like to invite our chair of the Civil Service Commission, Mary Sheridan, to come up and say a few words. And also, Michael, if you would come up at this time as well and join us up here at the dais. You're welcome to use the microphone.
I'm speaking on behalf of the Civil Service Commission, and we are very happy to say that Michael Santucci completed a very successful interview that was long and thorough. Michael's answers were very informative, insightful, and detailed. He expressed much enthusiasm for our town and its residents, both young and those of us that are post-young. He is willing to do whatever he can to make our town safe and a fun place to live. We appreciated his willingness to answer our questions and concerns. Thank you, Michael. We appreciate it.
Chief, can I invite you up as well? And any other officers that like to? At this time, it is with extreme pleasure and enthusiasm that I invite a motion from council to promote Officer Michael Santucci to the position of sergeant.
I'll make a motion. Promote Michael Santucci to the rank of sergeant for the Verona Police Department.
I have a first by Councilor Carpenter. Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Councilor Ellis. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Please proceed. Sorry.
Okay, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear
You solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I support,
that I support,
obey,
obey,
and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
and defend the Constitution of the United States of America,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and that I do further swear
and I do further swear
that I will faithfully discharge
that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of police sergeant
police sergeant
with fidelity,
fidelity,
honor,
honor,
integrity.
integrity.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's your I didn't expect that.
Very good. We will now move on to section 6. Second exciting moment for Verona Council tonight. Recently, council received a resignation. We put communication out to the community, invited all interested residents who are interested in applying to the position of council to apply and fill out a new application package. We were very excited that we received 3 exceptional applications for the vacancy. At this time, we've invited the 3 candidates to each share a bit more about themselves to council and the community and why they would like to serve in this capacity. Can we invite Jason Alberti?
Already grew up in Verona, and Hill High School, I lived at Top Jam, St. Joe's, always been kind of involved with Verona, and recently found a Parks and Rec committee. And after some turmoil on that, I figured maybe council was a good place to continue our efforts. That's all I have to say. Any questions from here?
Very good, thank you. Are there questions from council for Jason?
Could you talk more about why you'd like to be on council per se?
Well, I've been in customer service for about 40 years, 35 years, I was in customer service. And I've always kind of enjoyed, I'll say negotiating, but kind of mediating. So it always seemed to me to be kind of an interesting thing to hear different sides of a viewpoint or whatever. I mean, I used to be pretty much yelling at me or swearing at me, but you know, once you get past that and you get down to solving problems, it's shift to do that kind of thing. Make sense?
How would your experience on the Parks and Rec board? How would you feel that would translate into serving on council as far as, you know, being effective as a council person?
I don't know exactly, to be honest with you. I think that most of it just I like the community involvement part of it. Parks and Rec part of it doesn't really have anything to do with the politics of it, I guess you'd say. Yeah, I don't know. I think that just being part of it and you know, learning more about different aspects of the community would make it interesting, more so than just dealing with the park and recreational. So I'm kind of interested in seeing how that goes.
Anybody have a second question? There's somebody else with the first question.
I was just gonna ask, Jason, would you share one way that you would like to see Verona grow? Could be anything, could be parks or.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the parks go, I mean, we got a lot going on there. I think we have a lot of activities around town. I'd like to see more of them. If I make Verona more of a place to come, everything in the other side of the viaduct all the time, you know, we've got a lot to offer this side of town. I'd like to see us have, you know, more bigger fun stuff, because you know, I don't know about fun stuff, so just bring the stuff. That's what I want to see. I'd like to see more people see this as a destination.
If no one else has a first question, we can go to Nancy's second question. Sylvia, did you have a question? No?
So other than Parks and Rec, are there other areas of focus that you're interested in? In terms of being on council and the committees that are there?
Not specifically, no. In light of what happened with Parks and Rec getting down to just a couple of people, you know, just seeing more, you know, rather than dissolve it, I wanted to see everything that we already planned, kind of at least see that through. But yeah, as far as like a particular part of the council, I'm interested in all of it, but nothing specific.
Because on your application, you checked community outreach and engagement. I guess you saw that maybe as part of events.
More park recs and events, you know, getting people to come to things and that kind of thing. But I was enjoying that.
No,
Okay.
no. So just asking a question.
All right, let's
Oh.
give Jason a warm Next, I'd like to invite Susan up.
Hi everyone, I'm Susan Malalo. And I'm just so pleased to be here. Opening for this position. Came along at just the right time in my life. I'm from Brooklyn, born and raised. Big family history. One of the cutest things that I want to tell you about is right across the street, Railroad Avenue. My grandfather had a shoe store, Wagner shoe store. In the early 1930s into the 40s. And the family just has always been involved in morale in one way or the other. And that was the beginning. Parents that one taught at Burner School, the other, my father, served as a member of the Riverview School Board for 6 years. So it's in my DNA, so to speak, but the timing in my life is right. I have the time now that I can commit to this opportunity, which as I read about it and see the different committees and all the things that, John, they go on. There's a lot of work involved. One of the things that I've done that I think would be beneficial is I was a flight attendant for some 25 years. And in that job, you have to really learn to listen. You have to have patience because you're in this capsule. You can't get away, you can't get out. And you have to learn how to resolve issues, conflict, as well as many other things. And I left that job and went into the next position with, wow, that listening skill is huge. And you have to be efficient. So those are a couple of the things that I offer. I do have experience with grant writing. I did grant writing with the Make-A-Wish Foundation here in Pittsburgh, and I also did a lot of their accounting. Community safety awareness. I did serve on the, let's see, the official name was Virginia Beach Citizens Advisory Committee for the Prevention of Crime for 10 years while I lived down there. I had gone through the Citizens Police Academy there and got really involved in it. And I learned so much about what our officers have to do, what they go through, and just the dynamics of it. It's a much bigger police force, but it doesn't matter the size, all those dynamics are with each force. So coming to the end here, one of the other things I'm really interested in is the preservation of Verona's history. I'm really big on that. And that is just something that's in me, and I see these wonderful photos, and it just makes me happy. Anyway, it would be an honor for me and a privilege to serve on the council. I'd like to think that I could serve well, but I know I have a big learning curve, but I'm patient and I do want to listen and learn.
Great. Questions from council for Susan?
Have you been to any of the other council meetings or watched them on YouTube?
I have watched them. I haven't been to them. And as I said, this is a good time for me right now to become involved in something like this. I've had a time where I wasn't working and then I worked again, and now I'm tired and I have the time. And when this came up, I said, I have to just give this an opportunity. I've watched many of them on the Zoom.
And you still want to sign up?
Oh, I know. The thing is, one of the things I think about when I see there's the conflict is having been in an airplane when somebody gets into a fight and you can't get out. You can't get out. So it does happen, and that's unfortunate. I treat everyone with respect and dignity, and that's just a family value. So hopefully that would help.
And if you don't get appointed tonight, are you interested in many of the other volunteer opportunities that we have here in town?
Well, absolutely, you'll see me now around for sure, yes.
We have vacancies in other boards and commissions.
I did read through the whole website, so I do know that there's some things available.
Susan, what do you think is the number one issue facing our town right now?
My personal opinion is the safety of the town. I think when people have that safe feeling that your community is a safe place to be, then you exude it. And your friends and your neighbors, not neighbors, your friends and other people you talk to hear about that and they want to come here. So it starts with that safe feeling. I love the schools here, but I think that is probably right now in my mind frame that it would be the safety of the community. Feeling that this is a good, safe place to live. And I do feel that. And I feel so much better. But what's going on?
Okay, any other questions for Susan? Let's thank her for her bravery. Last but not least, we are happy to welcome Josh Briska, who mistimed his vacation, but is joining us via Zoom to do a similar overview. Welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
We'd like to see you.
Yeah, are you able to share your video, Josh, as well?
It's not giving me an option to turn my camera on, though. The camera thing is X'd out.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, I think you have to elevate them more, maybe not just allow them to talk, but.
Yeah, no worries. We will proceed. Go ahead and tell us a bit more about yourself and why you'd like to be on Verona Council, Josh.
All right, so I'm a resident of Verona for the last 15 years. My wife is a lifelong Verona resident. Her parents, lifelong Verona residents. The reason I put in for it, just a couple things. My attributes, I think, listening is definitely a strong suit of mine. I'm also currently, I sit on the board of directors for a 501c nonprofit association. In that role, I've made many decisions that manage over 1,500 members that are involved in that membership. I work with the budgets and all the policies. So I just think that I like to focus in Verona on being accessible and accountable to every resident. I'd like to hear the concerns, whether it's about roads, public safeties, neighborhood improvements, local businesses, making sure the taxpayers' dollars are spent properly and wisely. I believe every voice in Verona deserves to be heard. So that's why I put in for it. Seeing the opening, was interested, and
Very good. Thank you, Josh. Questions from council for Josh?
Okay. Anybody else? Any?
I'm gonna ask the same question to you, Josh. What do you think is the number one issue facing Verona right now?
So I would say a year ago, I believe the number one issue would have been safety and that, but I believe the police force over the last, 8 to 10 months has turned that corner. I do believe there's still some skepticism about it, but you can't have anything in a community if you don't have safe streets.
Okay.
Other questions, Josh?
Oh, that's. That's good.
I was just going to ask Josh, you attended a handful of council meetings. Have you also watched any on Zoom, or are you pretty familiar, do you feel familiar with some of the current issues we're facing?
Yeah, some of them. I've been to the last few, and then I have watched a few recently.
Josh, what is your number one interest in terms of what committees that you'd like to be on, or where you'd like to focus your energies towards?
I'm interested in Parks and Recs, public engagement. I'm really interested in learning the whole aspect of it. I have a bunch of committees, like I said, on the board of directors that I'm on already. Obviously different than a city position, a city council position. But I'm willing to learn and jump into any committee.
And if you're not picked, would you be interested in joining any of the other volunteer opportunities that we have?
Absolutely.
Any final questions from council for Josh? And let's also thank him for his bravery and tuning in on vacation. We will be asking for nominations towards the end of tonight's meeting. So thank you again to our candidates. With that, we will at this time move on to section 7, registered comments from the public. Tonight we are joined by Andre Carter from Riverview School District to talk about a proposal to utilize Pittsfield. Welcome, Andre.
Hi, Mayor and Council. First, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Andre Carter, the athletic director at Riverview High School. So I don't know, I haven't been down here many times, but I'm eager to try to build a partnership with you guys. The initial reason for me coming was because of our lights project. We were looking to use the field between August 10th and August 30th this year for some of Cribbs Field. We're looking to use Cribbs Field for that project. However, in the scope of things, after seeing the field and everything like that, I'm not sure why we didn't have a partnership with you guys in the school district before. So ultimately, my goal would be to build some sort of relationship with you guys, partnership, and be able to do things moving forward, not just for this lights project. So I believe that Jacob sent you guys over some of the times that we were looking for, different things like that. We'd be appreciative of whatever we could get. Anytime that we get.
Questions from council?
So just to clarify, you're interested in using Cribbs Field because during the time of the construction or whatever with the lights, they wouldn't be able to use your own field. Is that why you took part involved?
Correct. So that was the initial reason. However, we do use Creekside for other things, and I don't know why we've never come over and used Cribbs for anything. So initially, yeah, that was the reason why was because we had the project going on, which now, like I said, I don't know why we haven't had a partnership with you guys. To, hopefully move forward.
We're excited at this prospect as well.
Yeah.
Is everything covered regarding insurance? Like how are your kids on the football and girls soccer and all these various things? I'm not sure how insurance works in this case. If it would be covered just because we have general borough insurance, or whether you guys have insurance in case someone gets hurt while they're on our field.
That's a great question, and I can look into that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure that we do have insurance when we use Riverside, so I'm sure we just need to transfer that over.
I mean, have
During
a
that.
rider or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we can definitely get that. I mean, that wouldn't be a problem at all.
Just want to make sure everyone's covered.
Absolutely.
Okay, so-
Absolutely. Yes.
If I could note too, this proposed, at least scheduled from the 10th or 30th, does not conflict with any of the ongoing activities in RAA, we already checked with that.
Okay,
It doesn't conflict with any park rentals that we have currently. So,
Yeah, it's just during the week, it's not a weekend.
right.
Right.
So that's one of the things, so I've been athletic director I'm going into my third year right now for the district, so I do have a good relationship with RAA as well, so, like I said, it's 2 years too late that I'm here, but moving forward, I look forward to, building that relationship and being able to be on the same page.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That'll work out.
sounds
I
good,
like that very much.
perfect,
Yeah, the collaboration.
absolutely.
Absolutely. I did notice some activities occur concurrently, such as soccer with band. Obviously, you already looked, there's enough space. My only other question, is there anything about our field that Andre needed to know, looking at you that, we know from time to time, drainage, has been an issue. If there's a heavy rain, are there any precautions we should take?
Just in August here, you're not gonna have any issues there. I mean, that mostly occurs in the springtime, just when we get multiple days of rain.
Right.
But I'd imagine it happens to most sport fields
Correct.
where just common sense, if it's too wet, you gotta stay off of it.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Any further questions, council? Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and you will correspond.
We'll still talk.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Pleasure meeting you all.
Andre.
Yes, you too.
Can you make card?
Absolutely.
You mind sending me either text or drop me an email so I can.
Yes, absolutely.
At this time, we'll move on to section 8. General public comments. At this time, council will hear comments from residents and business owners on public related matters. Please approach the podium or raise your virtual hand. Clearly state your name and address and try and limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. I will point out, if you haven't noticed, that we do have a new timer on the wall to be as efficient as possible with our public comments. As a reminder, comments should focus on borough's business, policies, or actions. Council encourages thoughtful feedback on decisions and performance while maintaining respectful and constructive dialogue.
Toby Morford, 735 Third Avenue. Right, same time, would like to on. I look at that as community advocates for the residents of Verona. My husband Jeff and I are quick to criticize or even condemn when it is the general consensus of the people of this town. The council is not acting in the best interest of its inhabitants or merchants, or not acting at all. But in all fairness, we also are diligent about recognizing the deeds done on behalf of Verona residents and businesses. And that's my reason for speaking tonight. I'd like to publicly express our thanks to Mayor Recupero for acting on our request to formally honor Shirley Davis for her 35+ years of selfless service to the needy in Verona. Mayor Recupero is to be commended for his idea and follow through to arrange a formal proclamation to be presented to Shirley by County Commissioner Nick Futulis at the festival celebration this past Saturday, an event that was Shirley's brainchild, which she organized to honor local veterans for their military service. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Council Member Kelly Rodriguez and her sidekick, Junior Council Member John Moses. Together, Kelly and John rolled up their sleeves to help Shirley and her Verona Methodist Church crew to set up. Were relentless in making continuous rounds throughout Railroad Park to make sure that everyone who attended during the 7-hour event had an opportunity to buy 50/50 raffle tickets to benefit the Twin Boroughs Health Ministry's Summer Luncheon Fun Kids Camp, and to help break down and clean up the park after the event. And there's one other member of council I'd like to thank publicly, and that is Council President John Janelis. When John learned that we could start to a portable microphone system 2 hours before it was to be used, to commemorate and announce the names of over 90 local veterans. John assured me that he would come up with something for us. Knowing time was of the essence, Councilman Jamelis went home to find a microphone and speaker that he had not used for many years. And when he discovered the mic was inoperable, John went out and purchased a replacement. Upon his return to the event, when I apologized for causing him to incur that unexpected expense, he said that he had been meaning to buy one for quite some time. Don Jamelis's willingness to help, and along with the level of participation exhibited by council members Kelly Rodriguez and John Moses before, during, and after the 7-hour event, are examples of the gold standard of service to the community by town leader. They recognized the need to help Shirley and her crew, and they rolled up their sleeves and became a working part of the event. Unlike some, they didn't just make an appearance by doing a walkthrough for the sake of being seen so they could later boast that they attended. Unlike some, they stayed for the commemoration of local vets from 3 to 4 p.m. to applaud for and honor the Verona vets who fought to keep us free. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Robbie. Are there other comments from the public?
Good evening. My name is Gina Vessel. I am a property owner of 607 Second Avenue. I'm here today as I have a concern about the vacant properties at 601 and 605 Second Avenue. They have been vacant for over a year, trash in the backyard, and the grass is overgrown. I reported the same concerns via email last year, and the grass was addressed. This year, I have contacted the borough several times via email. I got one response, and since then, nothing. There's been 2 additional emails and no response. The properties still remain on maintenance with residents or tenants living in 2 of the other properties. My question is, what is the borough doing to maintain these properties that are overgrown by other landlords?
Thank you, Gina. Can you confirm what contact email you guys use?
Would you like a copy of them? On Friday, April 24th, 2026, Verona admin. And then on May 14th, the same one, and then June 15th, I sent it to the manager.
Okay, and what's the best way to get in contact with you?
My
Go ahead.
B is in boy, G is in girl, Vessel at gmail.com, or you can call me.
We will follow up. Thank you.
I have her leftover minutes. Yes. I'll talk fast. Okay. My name is Rhoda Ward, 636 3rd Street, and I'm gonna be real fast. We have a deep pothole on Wildwood Avenue, and it may seem like a small issue, but it's a perfect reminder of something larger. Verona works best when its systems are maintained, monitored, and enforced consistently. Council should ensure the streets crew that gets notified and the repairs are completed promptly, because small problems left unattended become large problems. Now, my baby used to be regulated rental, and it still is, haven't left it. More than half of the homes in Verona are rental properties. Means the borough's ability to track, regulate, and inspect these rentals is not just a bureaucratic task. It's a matter of public safety, fairness, and community stability. Verona's code already requires that the borough maintain complete records for every property owner within our boundaries. And these records must include names, mailing addresses, phone numbers, and email. When a property is a rental, the law goes further. If the owner or the LLC controlling the property resides outside the Verona limits, they are legally required to designate a local manager or a responsible agent. This ensures that when issues arise, someone is accountable and close enough to respond. This isn't theoretical. This isn't optional. It's borough code. A previous borough manager had purchased a specialized software designed specifically to help manage rental property information. Every rental owner's application should be entered in the system and kept current. Access should be available to the council members, borough manager, office staff, and hired code inspector. Tracking annual regulated rental fees, scheduling mandatory periodic rental inspections, ensuring compliance with safety standards, and protecting the health and well-being of the Verona residents. These inspections are not burdensome. They are life safety measures. They ensure that every resident, whether owner or renter, lives in a home that meets basic standards of living. If the borough cannot realistically maintain these records or enforce these laws with current staffing levels, then council must conform or confront that reality directly, adding additional office staff and to do the job. And the solution is already built into the system. Regulated rental fees exist precisely to fund the administration and the enforcement of rental regulations. These fees can support the personnel needed to keep Verona's rental oversight functioning properly. Verona is not governed by absentee landlords or distant LLCs. It is governed by the people who live here, raise families here, volunteer here, and invest their lives in this community. Enforcing the laws already on the books is how we set the tone for Verona's future. It signals that we value safe housing, we expect accountability, and we prioritize residents over absentee ownership. If any owner or LLC disagrees with Verona's statutes, then they have a simple choice to comply with the law or sell your property. Verona's standards are not negotiable. Council has the authority and the responsibility to ensure that Verona's rental regulations are enforced fully and consistently. Residents have the right to expect safe homes, responsible management, and a borough government that uses the tools it already has. Okay, I have here the pothole on Wildwood needs to be filled, but so does the gap in rental enforcement. Fixing both is how we build a stronger, safer, and more accountable Verona. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Other comments from public? Judy?
Yeah.
I made more coffee, so we can all. This is the pictures that you guys are looking at right now. Sorry, Junior Williams, 534 Ridge Avenue, Verona, PA 157. The picture that you're looking at is our church on South Avenue. And I know that we've talked about this before, and we've been at our council meetings and I have been throwing around all of the problems about the sidewalks and that. Right now, we're trying to get funds together or trying to talk to people who would be able to help us to fix it. But if you take a look at the bottom right-hand corner, where that sewer system and everything is at, on your second page, you will have Chuck Kim, who is the vice president of council. He has done a blueprint of how deep stuff is and everything in order for this to be repaired, because that piece of cement and everything that's right there, and that whole curb is the borough's responsibility. Because with the rain coming down, ate up the curb, ate up the sidewalk, and that's what has been going into our church when it rains really hard. Well, I've talked to you about this several times. I just want to talk to the council because we are looking into, we have to fix all the other stuff, because we know that. If somebody falls on this right now, it's our responsibility. We could be sued for it. We don't have the money for anybody to sue us. So we're looking into getting it fixed. So I'm just asking that, and I told them that as far as I'm concerned, and I've seen it, Chuck has seen it, that all of this whole area here and that whole cement part or that asphalt part was new last year. I don't know why the curb wasn't fixed then, but. Anyway, so I'm just letting you guys know that that is, the borough's responsibility, and again, he did the diagrams and all that kind of stuff to know what we're talking about. For you guys to take care of that, so after that is taken care of, or when we know that that's gonna happen, then we're gonna look into getting the rest of the sidewalk that is our responsibility. To get it fixed. So we're gonna be working on that. And another question I have, let's see if I can find it back on my phone. I was talking to, the chief of police here. And we had our second, breakfast on Saturday down at the church. I would have been here, but I was down there cleaning all that kind of stuff too. So, and I was asking him because they said that the council has decided that people who have driveways cannot have a handicap parking spot. I have one in front of my house, and the reason for that is at one time my dad, when he was alive, he parked on the street and he put a driveway in, which is on the other side of the house a long time ago. The only problem is there's no steps up to go up into my yard from the driveway. And I cannot climb up the hill, and people have parked over my sidewalk, the steps to go up, and it's only 4 or 5 steps. But I can't climb the hill to get into my house. So, and when I said something to the chief, he said, just call 911. I could do that, but if that happens every day, I'm sure they'd get tired of coming to my house.
Judy, we are at time. Could I ask you to summarize your 2 asks each in 1 sentence? Your first one is to continue to build awareness about the deteriorating sidewalk.
Yes.
The borough's support, financial and otherwise, and
Yes.
repairing that. Okay. And then the second one, you said that the person who has a handicap placard is he still there?
No, he passed away.
We don't really get into how those are awarded. That's what you.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just came up and put it up one day when my dad was down here. He used to be a school crossing guard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know we are going through the process, so.
Yeah.
Like previous email, we're just going through the handicap spots throughout the borough, and this is the process of renewing it. That's all. And I just explained that, you have to have a handicap placard or license plate in order to maintain it on the roadway. And that's it. And that's what she's looking to do. But
Okay, so yeah, if you can get that renewed.
Reviewed by who?
Renewed by like your PCP, or like if you can make a case to have that renewed.
What do I need to renew?
The handicap, you need a placard to have.
I have one.
Oh, okay. So then.
But her question is, the policy you passed last year
Yes,
states that if you have off-road access, road parking, you can't have a handicap spot in front of your house because of parking limitations. That's all.
noted, and we will re-review that.
Because you need your payment by the end of this week.
Okay, so you do have a new one. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Thank you for bringing that to me. Are there other comments from the public? You can arm wrestle. Awesome. Nice.
I thought it was, you should still have, if you thought something you might be doing that, you might be strapped. John Stephen from here. Local problem with the clock is that it, our history meetings, many times you have films, we project it on that wall over there. We take pictures down. The screen is too small, so we take the pictures down and project maybe on the wall. And with that clock there, it can become a problem. Is there any way it can be moved over to this wall?
Could you project onto that wall instead?
I asked first. I suppose we could try that, yeah.
There's a reason it's over there. It's because of how the wires are set up.
Oh.
To get internet to it.
Okay.
But we'll touch base after, and we can talk about what you do.
Okay. That's all I'm gonna say. Just the- Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's minute 44, right?
Beat that.
Everything went real good at the festival. I want to thank each and every one of you for all of your help. John got me introduced to the company that he works for, Kelly Health. I don't know who Curtis is, so I don't know if he was at the function or not. But Nancy, I want to thank you, for what you did in the gift card. Trish for being there, Jacob for being there. I didn't see you, Greg.
I was there.
He was there.
Okay, but and Dave for doing all the things for the vets. And we forgot one last thing. The kids had a rock for you. That was for the mayor. And so I have it up at the church. So I was gonna bring it down, but one of the kids said, aren't we gonna give it to him? And I said, okay, so I'll figure that out. And thank you, Sylvia. Thank you to Chief Dessel for everything that he helped me with and with the council. Well, let's see, no, it would have been Chambers tent and everything. And DNTE, I didn't see him here tonight, so I want to thank him for bringing some extra tables and chairs. I'm not sure who took those back, but we got everything out and cleaned up. I hope everything was cleaned up enough for everybody's satisfaction. And I wanted to thank Obi and Jeff for all the help that they gave me. Dawn, especially for the newsletter that he put out advertising everything. I'm talking to Dawn about advertising that, and I forgot to tell him about the community dinners. So, but anyways, they're going to be this month and next month. This month will be Riverside Community Church, and they're going to do the dinner. And the kids that are at the summer lunch for the 6 weeks are going to do a play for the families. So we hope to have a nice attendance for that. I want to thank Sandy and Gus, for being there to help during the talking. But just thanks to everybody for your cooperation. Maybe if we do this again another year, we can do bigger and better things. So we'll keep that in mind and go from there. But I think that we did not make a lot of money, but we weren't looking to make a lot of money for the summer camp, okay? We were mainly at the goal is to put something on and to celebrate the veterans. And I think that was accomplished, so there was over 37 veterans that I know of that was honored, and the kids all made them rocks with flags on them. And they sent them a note signed and telling them thank you for your service and a small flag to go with it. So I think everything was accomplished as to what we wanted to do. And I will probably talk with you later, Jacob, because somebody told me that somebody had a check and I didn't know about it, so I'll catch you this week.
Well,
But thank you, and I want to thank AJ and the parks, the departments, over here for helping me with everything. So thank you, and God bless all of you.
Thank you.
There are other comments from the public? Seeing no further comments from the public, are there any online? Well, then it looks like move on to section 9, reports versus council president's report. Before we continue on with tonight's meeting, I want to thank everyone again for coming out tonight, both in person and online, and just remind everyone that government works best when everyone feels that they can come and be free to speak and engage with their elected officials. And I think that's really working well tonight. So thank all of you for your part in making that happen. Our goal is always to make our meetings inclusive of everyone and welcoming to help everyone participate. We've had a couple of things come up in these meetings. less of an issue tonight, but I just want to invite anyone who comes in the future who may be harder of hearing to sit towards the front. Anyone who knows they may need to step out or to attend to a small child to continue to sit towards the back. That way everyone can still continue to participate and be engaged. We also, again, not so much of an issue tonight, but in the future, perhaps remind those rowdier folks that we want to try and minimize any side conversations because it is very distracting to everyone who's trying to hear. So if you can just minimize any side discussion outside of public comment, obviously that is appreciated by all. Again, I want to thank all of the volunteers and businesses, residents, first responders who make and continue to make Verona a vibrant, safe, and connected community that I know we're all very proud of. And again, she already left, but I want to thank Shirley again and everyone who helped with this past weekend's festival celebration. It was a really lovely event to have in our community, especially with our 250th. Tonight, we also recognize the promotion of Sergeant Michael Santucci. So we want to thank him again for his continued service to our community, and again, the service of all of our officers to our community. We're very proud to have you here. Again, we also want to recognize and thank the 3 applicants who applied for tonight's vacant council seat, Joshua, Susan, and Jason. Public service begins with a willingness to step forward like all of you have done tonight, and we sincerely appreciate your interest in serving your community. And regardless of tonight's appointment, as was mentioned, we hope that you'll all continue to stay involved and consider joining one of our boards, commissions, committees, or many other numerous volunteer positions in our community. Tonight's agenda reflects work taking place throughout the borough. Council will be considering awarding infrastructure projects, ordinance updates, a grant opportunity, in addition to the promotion, the appointment of a new council member. These items appear as motions on agenda, but they reflect many hours of planning, researching, and coordination that happen by borough staff and borough council. So I want to thank everyone here behind me for your work in that. I especially want to thank all of our staff, especially our borough manager, Jacob Russell, who's done a phenomenal job in helping to streamline everything and keep our meetings moving as efficiently as possible. So thank you for that. Your efforts are essential to keeping Verona operations moving forward. So thank you all again for being here tonight. We appreciate, again, your engagement, and we'll continue with our meeting, which is a very productive meeting. So Mayor, you're up next.
Yeah, I don't have much. I have a few things, but it's gonna be for the workshop. One of them is on the high grass and what have you. You know what? I received a letter from the Memorial Day committee. It was just sent out. Verona Borough Mayor and Council, on behalf of the Oakmont Verona Memorial Day Committee, thank you for the $300 contribution to support the annual parade and ceremony. Thanks also for the police department, Matt Weimer, treasurer. That's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mayor. Next, we have the borough manager's report, Mr. Russell.
Thank you. So I've prepared a report for council that outlines some things that were taken care of on the administration side. Our top item that took up most of the admin's time this month has been closing out the stamp grant. So we submitted for $101,915.06 of reimbursement on $112,106.56 worth of invoices. That shows our 10% match that the borough is responsible for. We were able to get some of the cameras for the police department, some technology upgrades. This phase of the stamp grant had to all be technology upgrades, things that are wired or powered or certain softwares that we utilize. This is an ongoing grant, so we have a couple of years that we're eligible for it. So now that that's closed out, we submitted to DCED for that reimbursement. We can look to apply for this upcoming phase. It's 10% match, which is pretty rare, and we want to take advantage of that. So I look forward to continuing to work through to bring some of that funding for some much needed upgrades. Arch Street, which I think Matt will kind of touch on a little bit. There's a lot that went into there, into that project, not just, it had been a couple years in the making. They finally got paved. That required a lot of our attention for various reasons. So that was probably the second most thing that kind of took up our time. We have our audit, which is coming up at the end of this month. We have a lot of paperwork to prepare for that. Yeah, and I have some things that I'm looking forward to this coming month, some focuses. The finance report, I hope to have it prepared for a very solid mid-year finance report for the workshop meeting. I'm presenting the workshop meeting a proposal from Rob Roy, as well as some grant opportunities with multimodal, figuring out if we can have some projects that fall under that grant that council thinks would be fruitful for us to go after. That's all I have today. Do I have any questions for the administrative report? If not, I can move on to DPW. So I prepared a report for DPW. The project spotlight I have for them is the work that they've done on Arch Street. Though the paving and a lot of the painting that went into that was grant funded to help reduce costs. We had DPW go out and remove a fence and also extend some of the roadway onto the park side. So if you kind of notice the park side, the road's a little bit wider there because DPW went ahead and dug it out a little bit. They did a great job. They were pretty responsive with that. And I hope to utilize them more for bigger projects like that that could save us long term, save us some money long term. They responded with council's directive about the crosswalk on Center. The process happened very fast, so it required a lot of different, I'll say, touches on it. We had to send them out a couple of times to make adjustments, but they handled it well and they completed by any deadline I gave them. Yeah, they also helped put out some of the things for Shirley's event, tent, some of the chairs and tables. They're always very helpful for that. They talked with Shirley several times to make sure that she had exactly what she needed the day before. They patched a lot of potholes and they completed all of their regular assigned items like trash collection, grass cutting at the parks, and watering the flower baskets and cleaning storm drain inlets. And there was a couple of vehicle repairs that we had to do. One of my concerns is the age of some of our vehicles is getting up there and they're getting more expensive. Any questions for my public works report? If not, I can. Yeah.
I thought originally we were putting the crosswalk right next to the park, not across the street. Or did I say crosswalk? I meant the bike lane. And the parking was supposed to be across the street. Did we change that?
So my understanding, I know there's an LTAP walkthrough. I think one of the things that we're kind of working through is making sure that everyone's on the same page. As it was presented when Jason was here in February, it was going to be on that side. I think the LTAP walkthrough, there were some different ideas about that. We're working to correct it though. Right now it looks like we're going to remove the bike lane and just keep the as a share or shared lane.
Or we so we do have the ramp, we do have the pump now there to speed.
It's true.
Okay. Well, I know originally, so I just. Okay.
All right.
About the aging vehicles, I'm assuming that's something you'll bring back up with our budget discussion, like capital, would we be considering capital purchases?
Yes, it would be.
Partially from my steam.
That probably liquid fuels, depending on how much money we have left in that fund. Some of those vehicles could. The cost of those vehicles though is
Very high.
very high. They do last a long time, but there's a big upfront cost with them.
Can I ask you one more question? I've been getting asked this a lot, so the North Avenue thing, so. I realize now they're paving it, then they're coming back in, digging it back up. Do we know when that's gonna happen?
So People's Natural Gas was working this past month to place the gas lines. Now that they've pretty much finished, I think they finished Monday. They were done, so they have to kind of get things back into order so they can drivable condition. Oakmont Water is going to go back in August, and we'll put out some information about that. But it looks like they're replacing the main line in all the service lines in that area. So it's gonna be a big project. So probably almost all of August, there should be some sort of construction, major construction on that street.
Is that due to, because they sent a letter to us that said something about how they, with the lines being like, was it because they're old and?
Yes, the main line there is from when, before the town was even founded.
Okay.
And so after that, then paving will take place once all those repairs are done.
Okay, so probably.
So it's,
in September.
and all of this is getting done is so that they don't have to tear up fresh
Right.
pavement next year.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll move on to the code enforcement report. That our code officer Jamie Shaw prepared for us. We added 14 new cases. We had 15 courtesy inspections. We sent out 6 violation letters. We had 21 fault inspections and filed 9 charges with the district magistrate. Those properties that Ms. Stesso spoke about, those charges have been filed with the magistrate, so we're going to continue following up and charging as needed. I'll touch base with Jamie and see when that court date was, but they were filed, I think, a month ago on that. And let's see. Yeah, we do look for compliance first with all of our code things, so that's why we send out the violation letters, hoping that a lot of those can be taken care of. For that, but new cases, let me see here. A majority of what we had was exterior issues, grass. Then it looks like we had some roof and flashing issues and fire protection and life safety. Made up kind of some of our highest volume issues that we found. Is there any questions about the code? So we had 63% occupancy inspection, 36%, sorry, that's reversed. 63% code enforcement, 36 occupancy inspection for the month. And about the same amount closed versus open.
There's a lot of code enforcement. We keep sending letters every year. Like the one behind on Wildwood Avenue. It seems like every year we got to send them a letter. Why don't we just cite them right off the bat? And I know it's not an answer for your question for you, but you know, we keep sending them, you know, no one, I just get real frustrated with, you know, we gotta write it up and he comes back and he's gotta write it up and we gotta send it registered mail and that's several days till he gets it. Then we gotta receive he got it, then we give them what, 10 days, 5 days, I don't know what it is.
It's a little bit longer than that.
It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be.
So
I get real frustrated because across the street from me, the grass is this high. And it's been like that for 5 years. And I've been telling this board, been telling the code enforcement, nobody's done nothing. I called the company, they don't own it, but it's on the tax record. They're up in Cranberry. We have no property in Verona. Just like those 2 on Second Street. There's 3 on Second Street, 617 also, that the grass is high. We should be smacking these people.
There's definitely a cost benefit versus us having Jamie go out and cite them. Again, the directive that I kind of got from the board and that Jamie is following is compliance first. So that's why we always send them a violation letter.
But we send the same people every year the violation letter.
Yeah, so
and it costs the taxpayers money to send that letter out.
So
register mail.
If you're looking to recover some of like take over a property that's vacant, it's adjacent to your lot, you can go through the process through vacant property recovery program that the state has. Municipalities at their core do not have a good system to take over real estate. It's a very costly endeavor and they often lose out on their investments.
And this board better look into the one on Spruce Street too, that house. I look at it every day. There's vines growing all over the place.
Look at the one on Ridge, and we talked about this over a month ago, and it's still, I mean.
The system is broke.
This is getting.
So the judges and all the other, I'm not gonna get.
Some of the abandoned houses, there is a way to demo them. We don't get a whole lot of funding from that every year. It's a lengthy process. for it to
I don't
go-
know if you can demo the ones that I'm talking about at least, but I mean, at least cut the grass and send them fine to whatever, I mean. That we're still talking about.
See, the problem with demoing too, we the people pay for that. We don't get reimbursed, the property sits there, the borough guys cut the grass, it's in limbo. And
The demo cost could be enormous.
it most
We're
definitely,
talking about,
most definitely. And
Probably
once again,
$60,000,
we people have to pay for it.
Yeah, at least. Per unit. Cause you're talking about bringing excavators in and then you have to haul this stuff out. You have to,
You're talking
you do
$30,000 plus.
it's a lot of money. And, yeah, for us to recover that, it's gonna be big unless the county kicks in or the state or something. We have to get some sort of reimbursement for it somehow.
Any other questions on the actual code enforcement report? I did actually have a quick question. Thank you for breaking down the pie chart. Is 63 to 36 roughly the breakdown month to month of percent of occupancy inspection versus code enforcement?
Yes, that I do apologize for putting it on black and white,
okay.
but that's typically what I've seen since I've been here. I think more people tend to move in the warmer months. So I think we see an increased cost of those occupancy or an increase in occupancy inspections.
Okay, great, thank you. Any other questions? If not, we'll move on to item F, the police chief's report. Chief Dessel.
John, glad to see you here. Thanks for having me. Enclosed, you see a copy of my June report. Yes, Nancy, the typo on the back page. Thank you for pointing that out. Obviously, calls for service. Going up. June was a busy month for us. We had approximately 210 hours of free training for the officers. Every officer except for myself went to training in the month of June. We also have transitioned our old shotguns, repurposed them to be less lethal shotguns, which will be doing beanbags and OC. Just another tool for us to use non-lethal force if need be. Now Sergeant Santucci, he went to training on that. He is certified, so we can do that training in-house, which will also save the borough money. You will see the starting to use some of our program, our informant program that we purchased with the stamp grant. Part of it has parking, and you can see some of the new, I'm trying to still mess with it, but then the breakdown of parking tickets, stuff like that, payment rates. Misty, we're gonna get into that. We're in the process of sending out letters for May, I think it was. We have about 75% payment rate at the standpoint now, 75% payment rate of tickets, and we transition to online payments and basically cashless system. Next kickball tournament, we're doing it this Saturday, rain or shine, we'll see what happens. It's Pennsylvania weather, I can't control. Noon at Cribs, those that sent me an email can get their t-shirts now after the meeting, and we'll go from there. And then Tuesday, August 4th is the National Night Out. Everything's pretty much planned. I actually had a great response for donations from a bunch of different entities, which I'll recognize that night. And then lastly, I completed the COPS grant. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, since they reduced it from 40 pages to 17 pages. I actually spoke to Senator Fetterman's office today. I should have his letter of support by Friday. I have U.S. Representative Deluzio's letter of support. I'm good to go. So, and that's all I have. Anything? Okay. Oh, sorry. This is my mind. I've been here too long. So, let's see who's first. Josh, come here. Okay, so as some of you are aware, we had a serious incident at the Hula Bar where an individual was assaulted and started to bleed out. I wanted to recognize Josh Morrow, one of our newer officers, who's done a fantastic job so far, and I continue to be amazed about how he handled himself, his life-saving his life-saving measures he did at the Little Bar. Sherry was gonna be here to speak on his behalf too, so I'm assuming she's working. But I wanted to give him a letter of commendation for his actions that night in that bar, outside the bar, excuse me, for a job well done. Okay, second, Jordan Brazili. Just like to say, for those of you who don't know, we've never hired anyone for it out of the academy. He's one of two. He's been doing a fantastic job. I couldn't be prouder. I've never met someone that has been more eager and willingness to help. For those that haven't seen it, we redid the website. It's fantastic. That's Jordan. He does that stuff. He does the social media. It's fantastic. That's not the only reason I want to recognize him, but he has been a go-getter. He's always willing to come in if there's a call out, so forth and so on. But I just want to recognize him for a job well done and the hard work that he's continued to show us. And I'm excited to have him aboard.
Right, great picture.
You can go. Do it later.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chief Dessel? Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought I asked that.
Yeah.
That-
Thank you, Jim.
Oh, okay.
Still checking. Thank you for your report and your good work. Next we have the fire chief's report. Not seeing the chief, I suspect that Sean may be able to deliver the report tonight. Thank you for joining us.
So we had 20 calls of service in the month of June, 2 residential structure fires, 1 commercial structure fire, 1 appliance fire, 1 brush fire, 1 boat fire, 2 extinguished fires, 4 possible fires, 3 wires down, 1 natural gas, 3 commercial fires. Of those calls, 7 were in the borough of Verona. Mutual aid provided the 6 calls in the Penn Hills, 2 calls in the Oakmont, 1 call in the Blownox, 2 calls in the Harborville, 1 call in the Springdale, and 1 call into Arnold. That's it.
Questions from council for Sean McCullough?
I just have one thing.
Yes.
I just would like to know if there was any updates on the grant that county was working.
Which grant was this?
The one probably for the building or fire truck, but the building's more important, the fire truck is one. Great.
So I think where we're at with the grant is looking at which exact grant to apply for. There's those types of grants for like equipment, usually it's fire, police, EMS. It's not like the stamp grant where they're kind of giving you money for it. Usually what they take the kind of how they work is low interest loans. That's not something the borough could do this year. We'd have to kind of bake it into our budget in the coming years. They're very competitive. When I went to the PSAB conference, they actually had a panel that I attended on these grants. I believe they're actually closed out for the year, but they talked about how the money that they have is shrinking. That's to say that, you know, it's something to look for. I known about, I kind of talked to Chief Teehee about the fire truck. You said it not necessarily this year, but it's something that we're aware of for the budget next year. How do we kind of take smaller steps to get ready for what could be $1 million purchase for a new fire truck?
Can you tell us your number one priority? What would you like to see?
Building definitely updating for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of things that needs up there. The fire trucks, the one is 20+ years old. Obviously, that's a concern.
Yeah.
That's why they really.
So that's where it's at. I mean, we're aware. We'll get ready to apply for those grants and put it in front of council. You know, in the coming months.
Okay.
And for the fall, if you or the chief could provide us with your wish list.
Yeah.
In every fall, that would be very helpful.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Up next, we have the EMS report.
Is that provided?
Okay. All right, well, we'll look for two next month. Great, then that brings us to item I, solicitors report. Mr. Alexander.
Thank you, President Rezek. I did submit a written report. I did want to mention that while we were sitting here, I did look up the properties at 605 Second and 601 Second. And 601 Second, I didn't find on the docket. But 605 Second has not been served yet. They're still trying to get it served. I did note that the taxes are paid on it. And the tax bill is going to a 927 North St. Clair Street. So perhaps we can try to get them served at the business address of that corporation. It's owned by a company 605 Second LLC. Similarly, 601 Second is owned by 601 Second LLC. They have different addresses though. It also has a business address of 1205 Heberton Street. So I'm going to provide those to Jamie Shaw tomorrow and see if he can maybe update the magisterial records and have them perhaps try to get served at those residences as well. Move that forward.
For a constable? Why can't we send a constable, then, add that billing on that we pay the constable onto, those addresses.
You can absolutely do that. You
Well,
can
the board
absolutely do that. I don't
do that.
I don't know whether they have to. I don't think they have to deputize an officer in that area because it's still in Allegheny County. So it probably could be Luliana or Scotty
Jim.
Buzzard
Yeah.
or Jim. That's able to do that. I'll talk to Jamie about, using constable service instead of certified man.
Exactly.
Because you have a physical address.
Right.
Didn't we deal with this last year?
On these properties?
Yeah.
I don't recall, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, so that's what I'm getting at. There's a
Did we get them served, chief?
I don't know if it got served, but this has been an ongoing issue with those actually it's three properties.
Send it on.
617 Second.
Okay, I will address that with their code enforcement officer.
And then can you add the one on Ridge as well?
I did speak with them about the one on Ridge. I know he went back to look at it, but yes, I will.
I don't know what the intentions are. I guess he's not, guess he's not coming back. Doesn't matter. I don't,
Who's not for that?
What's that?
Who's not coming back?
Doesn't matter. So,
Yeah, I talked to Jenny about that one too. I think he said,
I just don't want rats coming, it's pretty bad. It's like a jungle. You can't even tell there's a house at this point.
So back to my report, just wanted to let the public know, one of the biggest things on my report right now are our ordinances. We've really gotten more proactive on ordinances recently. We had stagnated a little bit. We were very, very active a number of years ago. When Nancy had first come on, we had this ordinance committee. Rhoda was very involved with it back in the day as well. And it seems like there are some progressive thinking people on council right now that want to, bring our ordinances up to date, really get some enforcement going, as you saw with some of these things. 3 ordinances that are on the agenda today are an ordinance regarding vape shops in the borough, ordinance regarding recreational vehicles in the borough, which are boats and other types of recreational vehicles, and ordinance regarding noise in the borough. Now, there were a couple other ones that I've been asked to look at. One was a dangerous dog ordinance, and one was a no soliciting ordinance for canvassing from door to door. I can tell you with regard to the dangerous dog ordinance, a couple years ago, the state amended the state law dangerous dog ordinance, and as part of those updates to the dangerous dog ordinance, I attached it to my report. There's a provision in the dangerous dog ordinance that says those provisions of local ordinances. That's what we have here, local ordinances as opposed to federal ordinances and state ordinances. Your junk and debris ordinances and snow shoveling ordinance, those are all local ordinance. Local ordinances, those provisions of local ordinances related to dangerous dogs are hereby abrogated. A local ordinance otherwise dealing with dogs may not prohibit or otherwise limit a specific breed of dog. So what that means is every community in Pennsylvania that had a local ordinance related to dangerous dogs is whitewashed off the books. Doesn't exist anymore, even though it's still on the books. Only the Pennsylvania State Dangerous Dog Ordinance now, it's like the vehicle code. And if so, we are covered as a borough with any dangerous dog issue that comes up through the state's dangerous dog ordinance. And I just wanted the public to know that because it's a little bit confusing because there are so many communities that have a dangerous dog ordinance on the books because they were passed a long time ago. And the new amendments only came into effect in 2024. The other one we were looking at was a no solicitation ordinance. Now we do have one of those on our books. What I've been requested to prepare is an ordinance that pretty much bans no solicitation, bans soliciting from door to door across the board, except for protected classes of religious, political, and things like that. And while they do have more stringent criteria, those types of solicitation, political, religious, you still are not permitted to ban the everyday commercial business. What I would like to say is you don't see any more encyclopedias going door to door, vacuums. That's what they used to do back in the day. Now it's just people coming with electric stuff and who knows what they're solar panels and things like that. You cannot ban those exclusively. You'll run afoul of federal law. You can't ban them only during daytime hours. You'll run afoul of federal law, and they'll challenge you and they'll win, and there will be a heavy ticket or attorney's fees in there because the federal law system, if you lose, you pay attorney's fees to the winning party.
However, you can limit the hours, right? And you can put some limitations.
You can absolutely limit the hours, but you have to be very careful. You have to follow the guidelines of the federal law system. You can't say dawn to dusk because there are people that work later than that. John, there's multitude of case law on canvassing and soliciting. And the people that know it and see it violated, they try to get you to violate. They want you to violate because then they take you to federal court, they sue you, and they win.
But you can't ask them, can I see your soliciting?
You could make them register, and I talked to Tom about this. You can make them register. I've had a couple come up. What the first thing I did, I called him. I said, "There's somebody at my door."
Let's call 911.
So essentially, big business is saying it's like a First Amendment violation,
You're absolutely right. Sorry, Tom.
right?
Yep.
But as if they knock on my door, I have the right to say, can I see your permit from the borough?
I just said yes. That's 100%. You can do that. And the other thing you can do is you can have another soliciting ordinance where you can create a list and anybody can add their name to that list. And when they go door to door, you could put a big sticker on your door, no soliciting, and they're supposed to abide by that. And if they don't, then we can go after them for something like that. Those are some of the things you're allowed to do.
There's also an option, I think, for people to put no trespassing,
No soliciting, no trespassing.
but I thought they were different. I thought trespassing was more encompassing in terms of people not coming on your property at all, like including the religious and political.
I don't think you can legislate that out with the religious.
I'm not saying legislate, but if there is a rule on the books that says no soliciting means coming up to the door, they see the sign, they turn around, they walk away. But no trespassing is they can't even walk up to your door.
I understand what your distinction is, Nancy, but I don't think that you can do that with the religious and political door-to-door canvassing. I can look at that. You're the first one that's raised that to me. I'll look into it more. I don't know the answer to it.
Okay,
But I just wanted the public to be aware of why those ones, but dangerous dog you'll never see because it's superseded by state law. But the soliciting, I want to get together with Chief Tom and figure out what we actually can do and get the best soliciting ordinance or non-soliciting ordinance on the books that we're lawfully allowed to have. That's all I wanted to talk about in my report. We will get to those ordinances a little bit later. Jacob's going to put them up on the screen and I'll create another.
you have a question about your report?
Sure.
The last paragraph of section 2 says all of the ordinances need further review before they will be in a form that is ready for council to advertise and enact.
That was a sentence from the last report that I didn't believe. If we did that, I sat down with Jason, went through every ordinance, the 3 that are on the agenda. He and I went through the ordinances. He had previously approved them with mayor and council. Everybody provided their comments. Jason, put those comments together in a good format, and we incorporated those into the ordinances. They have been approved and we have final draft ready.
Well, because I have a couple of questions about the ordinances. One, the noise ordinance, I think we discussed last month to eliminate the whole thing about decibels.
And that's the thing you should have. If it still talks about decibels, we took it out. It's the wrong versions in it.
And so now,
We absolutely took that out.
So to clarify, we'll go through the 3 draft ordinances, vape shop, noise and cold storage, and we'll get to action items.
Yep.
Any questions for our solicitor from council? Thank you, Mr. Alexander. Last but not least, item J, the engineer's report, Mr. Fish.
Thank you, Madam President. I submitted my written report, but just a few updates on it. Under the consent agenda, item B, it's a motion to award the demolition of 523 East Railroad to Delaware Professional Services in the amount of $15,600. We do have a $20,000 grant for that project, so it will cost the borough nothing out of pocket for that demolition. The contractor for the CDBG 50 sanitary sewer linings along Spruce, Parker, and Second Street. They started doing their pre-televising last week. We did talk with them that they'll be on Center Avenue for a little bit of work. They are required to have flaggers for that, and they're aware of that, so that will be continuing to go on. For the Arch Street project, I do have a meeting tomorrow morning with the contractor to walk through with the punch list and discuss the items that still need to be touched up and completed down there. I'll also be getting a pencil copy of the budget so we know where we're at budget wise, so we can make decisions moving forward with some of the line painting down there. Under the consent agenda, item C, that's to award the ADA project at the intersection of South Avenue and Athletic Street. The low bid was Palmieri Construction at $27,200. We do have $35,000 of grant money available, so that project will not cost the borough anything. And then consent item D, that's to award the C51 sanitary sewer lining. That is to be awarded to Jet Jack Inc. at $110,555. We were previously awarded $123,000 for the project. The county does require a 65-35 match for that, but they do on occasion waive that depending on the bids. So there is a possibility that we could get that project done for no out-of-pocket costs as well. So I am working with the COG to request that of the county, be able to provide more information once we hear back.
Those other ones do not have a required income match.
The ADA project does not, and the demo does not, unless the bid amount is higher than the awarded amount, and we were under both. As far as North Avenue, I do have a meeting tomorrow with Oakmont Water to discuss their project. As Jacob had stated, the company replaced their gas line. We coordinated with them, as part of our road opening ordinance. They were gonna be responsible for restoring a certain section of it. So what they did is they restored the roadway base and the binder, the first layer of asphalt in the area that they disturbed. When Oakmont is done with theirs, they'll do a similar item. Our project will remove the remaining amount of bricks, finish the base work, and then pave on top of everything else, as well as establishing new bituminous curbs instead of the jagged, broken concrete curbs along there. I'll have more information that I can provide to council that we can send out to residents after tomorrow's meeting. Tentatively though, the water line contractor was looking to start the first week of August. And they were anticipating about 3 to 4 weeks of work. As far as our project, it is hitting the paper this week. So for the August agenda, we'll be able to award our project and be ready to go as soon as they're done with their work.
Great.
I've been working with Jacob, the 2026 multimodal grant. It is currently open. We're looking into additional ADA upgrades. One of those being the block between James and Grant. The sidewalk there is still the old brick sidewalk that is very impassable. So we're looking at that. Over the years, there's been conversation of sidewalk in front of Railroad Park. But that would require some retaining wall as well. So we're looking and putting costs together for that, as well as possibly an elevated sidewalk at the municipal parking lot. So we're putting costs together for that, and there'll be a discussion with a possible resolution for the super committee meeting to authorize the application that they're due at the end of the month. And then we were just made aware that the GEDTF grants through the county have opened up. They're on a very short schedule and due to the county August 14th. So Jacob and I are working together to come up with a potential project for those.
Okay.
And that's all I have unless there's any questions.
I do have a question. Any update on the sidewalks for the sheriffs? Second or son?
Yeah, so that project is being slated to be bid and on the super committee meeting for August.
But we'll talk about it then, or we're gonna do it.
It will be awarded to the contractor then, and then
Okay.
we'll have to see what their schedule is and everything. But once awarded to a contractor, I'll discuss with them to, I can't remember the exact, I think it's like 29 ADA grams kind of spread all throughout. So there's no set rhythm he has to go in, so I'll talk with him about making that corner a top priority first.
Thanks.
Matt, it might be a good thing if we could maybe get a list of ones that are like school bus stops and kind of recommend that those ones go first if possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I can help with that.
Matt, for the paving on North Avenue, we had talked about, someone had brought up, is it possible to use speed bumps? But not, have we investigated that more or should we? I know we're working on a process to consider all requests. So
Have you noticed after they started paving the line the street? It's a nice smooth ride now, so we gotta make it a little bumpy.
One lane.
Yeah, let's make it. Yeah.
So we did not have those added in currently, but it's something that we can discuss back. We had talked about maybe at the intersections, but it was not in the specs currently.
is that something the council would like to do?
I think you should. A lot of kids.
Any other questions for Mr. Finch?
Oh, I do, maybe because this might be for you. I sent a couple pictures of those grates down. It's the roads out in Fan, but some of them are really bad, like a whole person could just slide on in the hole.
Yeah, Nancy and I looked at a couple on Arch Street. Some of the ones with the metal lids will be a little easier than others to
There's other streets. that
attach something.
Our street.
The one on our street has a very old kind of makeshift concrete lid on it that we might have to look into some larger repair. There's not a real good way to attach to it. But Jacob and I were talking some ways DPW could do just some temporary things for. I
Do you
believe.
still have the pictures? Maybe we could forward them to you maybe because they're
Yeah.
so specific, they're pretty awful.
We looked at like more permanent one, which would be like a plastic cover that's custom made.
Yeah.
Those are a couple hundred, if not thousand. I don't know how long they would last. So Matt kind of suggested maybe we look at like some sort of chicken wire or something that DPW could attach.
Yeah. I mean, just those two spots are really horrible that I sent you guys. I mean, they're just,
What street was that on?
I don't know, I sent it all to you
Yeah,
guys.
I have the pictures.
Okay.
Here would be good if we did an inventory of all the inlets and see which ones. And then whatever day they choose to do that kinds of repairs around the borough.
If you see the one, like, a little kid almost lost his puppy because it almost fell down. It's, I mean,
No, yeah.
a grown man could
Yeah.
slide on in there. It's pretty big.
Yeah, I worked with Jacob and we can talk to DPW about some type of temporary fix on this.
Okay, and then one last thing, do we have any update on that guardrail?
He's still with the insurance company.
Actually, I do have an update. So. One of the issues that we were into is we submitted, I guess it was when Jason was still here, submitted the insurance claim. We got an invoice was prepared, I think it was around $15,000 of what it would require. It got rejected from their insurance because the individual was driving for Uber. Well, they did, so I had to go through a whole nother insurance system. I worked this past month to get all the paperwork, everything that the insurance adjuster needed. And we should be getting a check soon for that, which then can be used to make the repairs. Whenever Farmers Insurance sends me the check, we'll be able to do it.
Are we gonna use the same one, or are we gonna use like a normal, those thicker metal ones?
Whatever the invoice says, which is something that Jason got when he was the interim borough manager.
I actually got it, so it's gonna be the standard like highway
Good.
diagram
Okay,
with the metal post
that would
behind.
probably have prevented that whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because with that rope guide rail, there's no way of, one, it was way too old and there's no way of repairing it, so it's total replacement anyway.
Good for us.
Yep.
It's safer for everybody. Okay, thank you.
Any last questions or comments? If not, we'll move right along. Section 10, council updates. We have two comments for this evening. The first is Councilor Provenza with your report.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, folks. We're going to start with newsletter. We are working on our autumn edition and the due date to turn in all your paperwork for the newsletter, which would be the items you want to write about for our ads. That would be on Saturday, August the 1st. And if you have any article you would like to have put in, you would call Donald Wharf, and he can be reached at 828-3607 or at the Verona Newsroom at gmail.com. And for ads, I can be reached at 412-828-7726. The Twin Borough Ministries, their next dinner is going to be held on Wednesday, July the 29th, and it will be from 4:30 to 6:30 at the Verona Methodist Church. Also, Historical Society has a trip going to the Rachel Carson Homestead, and that will be on Saturday, August the 15th. And those that are interested in going, you can meet here at the Borough Building Lot at 11 a.m. and the tour will start at 12 noon. The cost for adults will be $20 per person. For seniors, $15 a person. And I thank Rhoda for putting this together. It's a job and I appreciate her taking care of that. On Saturday, August the 8th is our yearly car cruise, which Dave is taking care of. He's our sponsor with that. And that will start at PM here on East Railroad Avenue. And also, our council will be sponsoring the community dinner on Wednesday, August the 26th. And I think that's that for now. The only other current thing would be the police department is going to have a kickball event, and that's going to be on Saturday, July the 18th at Cribs Field. And there'll be some other things coming up, but they'll be down a little bit later down the road. So, yeah. Ask if there are any questions or comments. And if not, that concludes my reports, and I thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The second counselor's report or update is with Counselor Carpenter.
Thank you. Real quick, ACBA is the Allegheny County Boroughs Association. I'm Verona's representative for, I think it's District 2. I was not able to attend the meeting on June 11th because of conflicts. But I'm noticing here in the notes, just to let you know, that they anticipate ending this fiscal year with a several $1,000s profit for the first time in several years. So I don't know any history about ACBA, but it sounds like that's a nice accomplishment for them. And they were able to do that with the board's mindfulness and willingness to adapt to inflation, as well as the staff's diligence in securing new sponsorship revenues. So the next meeting is in September sometime for that particular organization. COG, most of what is happening with COG as it relates to Verona, Matt already reported on. A couple of awards, but you know, that Matt talks about that. So that there isn't much more going on with COG right now. But I was able to go to that meeting on June 24th. The other thing I just wanted to mention to everyone, I have many copies of this and can get more. As you know, the Riverview Community Action Corporation, the senior center of the area, serves both Oakmont and Verona. And we are actively pursuing many fundraising pursuits because the amount of money that we get from the county is decreasing due to some of the other, you know, decreasing from the federal, decreasing from the state, which therefore means decreasing from the county. One of the fundraisers that we're having is going to the pub on July 28th. I have flyers here. If you just go have dinner and a drink or two or whatever you want, and bring one of these flyers. I have many up here so you can grab one. 20% of whatever your bill is will go to the senior center to help them. So, you know, spend $100, $20 will come to us and $80 will go to Pub 333. So that's a very generous offer of theirs. Please feel free to come up here and grab a flyer. You have to have a flyer for us to get the 20%.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And I think it's per bill. So, you know, if you're a couple, then it's just one bill. But if, you know, you're two single people splitting the bill, you each need to have one. So I'm happy to provide that. Again, that's 2 weeks from tonight, Tuesday. All you have to do is go have dinner or lunch or whatever. They open at 11:30. It's all day long. And it's also for takeout if you decide to do that. Appreciate that. And I'm not sure, Sylvia, if you had a chance to announce this, that Rhoda left for us on our spots here.
I was waiting with that because that's at the end of next month. And I didn't want
Okay, well, just so you know, Monday, August 17th, this man is very entertaining. Henry Bowden, The Life and Times of William Penn. On the picture, I'm assuming he's going to pretend he's William Penn and give a presentation. So I had met him at Bushy Run, when we went there. So I just wanted to make a premature maybe, announcement about that. Just put it in the back of your mind. And that'll be in Oakmont. It's a combined event with Verona and Oakmont Historical Society, so it's gonna be at the Oakmont Library. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for Council Carpenter? Very good. With that, we'll move on to section 11, old business, which there is none. So that brings us to section 12, our consent agenda. Item A, council has been provided with a list of the bills. At this time, I will accept a motion to accept the bills.
Are we making a motion for all these things?
Are you comfortable with that? Is council comfortable with that?
I think that was kind of the idea.
Very good.
Yeah. Just review quickly what they are, or no?
Item A is a motion to accept bills. B is a motion to award the Act 152 demolition of 523 East Railroad to the low bidder of Deller Professional Services in the amount of $15,600, which is described by Mr. Fitch. C is a motion to award the CD51 ADA ramp replacement to the low bidder of Joe Palmieri Construction in the amount of $27,200. Item D is a motion to award the CD51 sanitary sewer line project to the low bidder of Jet Jack Incorporated in the amount of $110,550. E is to motion to accept Patrol Officer James Rudo's resignation. F is the motion to hire Brennan Jackson as a part-time patrol officer. Council was provided both with a letter of resignation and the application for that part-time officer. G is the motion to accept the street closure application for the Eagles on 815 from James Street to Ian Miller. This is their annual event. H is a motion to apply formally for the COPS grant funding.
I'll make a motion for us to approve all the motions in the consent agenda part of the agenda.
A for H. I'll second.
Okay, we have a first by Councilor Carpenter to accept the consent agenda, a second from Councilor Sperling. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Section 13 action items. Our first item, item A, is a motion to release 45% of initial deposit and fire escrow account for the property address 489495 Center Avenue to the property owner. I think we have revision.
Right, we should mention that Don will be recusing himself and he's the property owner.
Since this motion involves me personally. And I cannot deliberate or take a part in the voting of this action item. So I'm going to recuse myself and the rest of council will make the decision. I have no part in it whatsoever.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to release the 45% of the initial deposit.
I'll make that motion to release 45% of the initial deposit and fire escrow for property address 489 to 495 Center Avenue to the property owner.
And first by Councilor Carpenter, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilor Sperling. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Yes.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Item B, C, and G are the aforementioned draft ordinances mentioned by our solicitor, Mr. Alexander, in his report. Shall we first review the draft boat storage ordinance?
Yeah. I was wondering about section 3, part A. What's that?
I'm just going to see if we can do the big drop.
You want to read it? Yeah, okay.
Musically.
No problem. So we'll be starting with the vape shop ordinance.
We're gonna start with a vape shop.
Yeah. That's
Okay, all right, this is my third one.
I could switch it.
That's okay, no, it's easier for us.
This thing blocks my view. Very delicate.
It's just that the public is aware, we call it a vape shop because that's just a common name. It's actually an ordinance, amending the code of ordinances. To provide a new classification called alternative nicotine product businesses. The part of the same as vape shop, so just call it vape shop. But you can see that, first of all, in any municipality, you're not allowed to legislate out businesses exclusively or in their entireties. So you have to find somewhere within the borough to house these, and your industrial areas are a very good location. But you also want them far enough away from certain businesses like daycares, elementary schools, and things like that. If you can't put it so far away that there's nowhere in the borough that it could be 3,000 feet away from certain businesses. You just can't find that sort of land. So Jacob and I, when we were going through it, we brought the distance down to 500 feet. And that's what it currently says, or the typo that we have to go in it correct, but
Yeah, in both sec 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
we did pick that up, but we will make that. Now, this is a zoning ordinance, which means that it will have to go to the county to get their review as well. And then once we get the county's recommendations back, we will hold a public hearing here. It will go to our planning commission, and then we'll hold a public hearing back here before council prior to adopting it. But we will get it advertised. Mayor and council is prepared to move it forward to advertise. We'll get it advertised now. That because then it becomes what's called a pending ordinance. So if anybody files an application to come into Verona as one of these alternative nicotine product businesses, aka vape shops, they have to comply with this ordinance if it gets enacted later on.
What about the current vape shop that's here?
But
You can't do anything about it.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Yeah. This is perspective.
Okay.
Is everybody cool with that one?
Let me ask you, okay, so you said that this is a zoning ordinance,
Correct.
but then you said something about bringing it back to the planning commission, is that what you said? So it involves both, so it doesn't involve the zoning hearing board.
It's not involved this year, the zoning hearing board at all.
It
The
does
zoning
involve.
board, the zoning hearing board will interpret it. If anything ever gets to
Okay.
them.
But the planning commission,
The planning commission recommends to this body, just like the county recommends to this body. So it has to go to the county planning agency. And then our planning commission. And once we get the county's comments back, we'll look at them. And make a determination as to whether we want to incorporate any of them into this. And then if we do, then we'll take that ordinance and send it over to the planning commission. If you make material changes, you have to send it back to the county also.
that's what I was wondering, yeah. So it's a long process.
It's a little
for this
bit of a process.
one. Wow.
So, Mr. Unsinger, for anyone who wasn't at our last meeting where this was discussed, can you state in one sentence, this will change things as far as vape shops are concerned?
Sure. So the goal is to not have them on every street corner. If you go into some of the larger communities, even some of the smaller communities, Penn Hills, Natrona Heights, Ross Township, you see these, and I hate the word literally because it's never used properly, but you literally see these vape shops on every corner next to each other, across the street from each other. And it's just light, pollution. And it's not a good fit for the community. So one or two in a community of our size is more than sufficient.
Any other questions or comments on this?
Should we vote or wait till we're done with all three of them?
With this presentation at this time, I will entertain a motion to proceed with the advertisement of draft solution shop.
I'll make a motion to advertise the vape shop ordinance.
I'll say.
First by Counselor Tucker, second by Counselor Spurling. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Great, motion carries. Next draft ordinance.
This is a good vote ordinance.
Vote ordinance.
Again, the vote ordinance is just a short title. It's really an ordinance regulating the parking and storage of recreation vehicles and trailers on private property within borough. And basically, the primary goal of this was borough-wide is to really focus on Arch Street. We knew that these improvements were coming. You know, you have both graveyards down there that serve no legitimate purpose. And this ordinance will help get those old dilapidated graveyard boats out of the borough for one thing. It also limits how you can store boats on your property in the off season. We did tailor that a little bit better when Jacob and I went through these. But in one sentence, the goal of this ordinance and how it will improve Verona Borough is to clean up that corridor in Arch Street with the boat graveyards.
So, I think you have two sections, one regarding parking and storage regulations for like, homes. And then there's a.
Where are you looking at, Nancy?
I'm just looking at section 3.
Okay.
And then looking at section 4, I think you missed a C on accepted businesses, or am I spelling it wrong?
I probably am.
Anyhow, but looking first at section 3, part A, 72 hours for a rear or side yard.
Okay.
Well, I'm lucky I don't have to worry about that with storing my boat, but a lot of people do store it in the backyard is neatly, you know, I don't have a problem with that. I'm not sure that, I mean, my neighbor would not be able to have his boat in his backyard, and my other question is, once upon a time you told me that a backyard that butts up against a fully named street is actually considered a front yard.
It's a front yard.
So I don't know that we want to tell people who are responsible boat owners and have boats that are neatly stored in their quote unquote back/front yard on Arch Street that we can't, this is saying they can't do that.
So you just want us to just, because they're on Arch Street.
No, Kelly, that's not at all what I'm saying.
Oh, you just said.
I gave that as an example, and what I'm saying is, we're a river town, and as long as people don't have boats where like there's a blue tarp that's ripped and shredded and it's sat there for years and isn't being taken care of responsibly.
So, Nancy, if you could look at that section, what it says is you can't park it in the front yard.
It says, may be parked in a side or rear yard for a period not
Or
exceeding.
stored in a front yard, so that provision there makes a difference between parking and storing. Okay, and then in subparagraph 1, it then further defines what a front yard is. For purposes of corner lots and lots with 2 front yards, an exception will be granted providing for the yard opposite the address of record on the tax rolls will be considered the rear yard. And that's where you're allowed to store those vehicles.
Okay, All right. That's a very fine line.
It is.
It would be hard to distinguish that.
And that, and
Okay.
again, that's why we provided these ordinances in advance to try to get council's opinions on them so that we
Yeah.
can put them into a format that suits the needs of our borough. We don't have to advertise this. If you don't think it's ready to be advertised.
Saying that, it's just questions
Okay.
for clarification. This does further clarify.
I do find that a little confusing though, if I'm
Yeah.
the responsible dog owner, where are we saying I can't put my, that's not clear to me without your assistance. So would we like to make that clear?
I can make that clear.
Nancy?
Yeah, I guess, so you're making a distinction between parking and storage.
Yes, somebody pulls their boat out of the water and leaves it sit there for, 2 weeks before they find a storage place.
Yes, that's fine, that's fine. And this is saying that the opposite of basically their address, when they can store it there. Now, I haven't memorized all of these different subsections. But did you address what we were just talking about, like a boat that's stored that is, has a nice cover that's not ripped and shredded and all that and looks terrible? Like some of the ones in the one business that's not a home, it's different. I don't know whether we can we legislate that?
What sort of,
Well, in other words, you could store a boat and have a nice cover on it, and the trailer is in good shape, that's fine. Then if you store a boat, you let it sit there for 5 years, and you never change the cover, and it gets all ruined and mildewy and torn, that kind of thing.
the goal is to do that as much as you can. You can see under paragraph H, it says any recreational vehicle stored in the rear yard and not in an enclosed garage shall be screened from view. Such screen shall not exceed 6 feet in height and shall consist of a trellis, lattice work, decorative block, basket weave fencing, open artist block, shrubbery, or other similar material approved by the zoning ordinance.
Okay. Okay. All right, my other question had to do with section 4. It's really not a question, I just want to be clear. Businesses properly permitted to sell, rent, store, or service recreation, except that such businesses shall not be permitted to park or store, abandon, or allowed to be parked or stored any unregistered or untitled recreational vehicles under any circumstance.
First, that outboard haven, which is now
Yes.
for sale, so we might have a nice restaurant down there instead of a boat place. But
Right,
they they're allowed to be a business,
yes.
but they can't
Just-
store these unregistered boats forever on their
Okay.
property.
Okay, that's good. I'm not quite sure how we're going to enforce that.
You
but-
know if your boat's registered or not. With the state.
Yeah. Yeah, that's an important part of that. So those were the things that I noticed. Other people have comments.
Good comments and questions. Are there other comments and questions from council?
You think that this is clear enough to advertise that it is, or did you want any clarification?
My preference would be for clearer language in section 3, but I could also live with it if I'm in.
Craig, correct if I'm wrong, but when this gets codified in like say Eco 360, the language would look a little bit different.
They do change some things around. Certainly the sections will be changed. They make it flow their way and.
So I think that's one thing that they do is they clarify it a little, they put in more regular language perhaps, but. So maybe it could be something the insurance capture in Eco 360 that's codified.
So at this time, I will look for either a motion to table or a motion to advertise the boat storage ordinance.
Make the motion to advertise it.
Motion to advertise first by Counselor Sterling. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll second. I'll second the motion to advertise the ordinance. Vote ordinance. But ordinance.
Second by Counselor Gonzalez. So any additional questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Last but not least, we have item D, motion to advertise the noise ordinance.
And this is, I think that this is one of the ordinances that, I think the chief has been looking for. I know, a lot of council members have been looking for is to really update our noise ordinance, to do as much as we can within the bounds of the law. There was some language in here about decibels that, there is some language in here about decibels that council had requested be taken out, so you don't have to sit there with a decibel meter. When Jacob and I sat down to review the ordinances, I did take that out, so I don't know how it got put back in. Maybe I didn't save it appropriately, but that did come out, and it will come out before it is finally approved. But other than that, everything that council, all the changes that council wanted to have made are made, and it is ready to be advertised.
So there's two sections where decibels is referenced, 2.05.
Yep.
And B, whatever. C.
Yep.
Section C.
Yeah, so those, we had different versions when we were working on it. I think I might have actually uploaded an older version, but in the one that we had, there was nothing about. That was the first thing we did, was eliminate all of decibels. So I think, as Tom indicated, it's more about like what level like an officer could hear it at, instead of reading up the decibel.
If you're good with that ordinance?
I haven't read it. The revised.
Oh,
I'll get it to you.
I haven't read it.
What does it say?
Once I take the decimal stuff out again, I'll send it to you before we advertise it.
Okay.
I should make sure you're included on all of them.
So they're gonna table that ordinance then?
No. We're gonna advertise it. But it's a council decision, but I think it's ready to go. With those changes, and taking the decimal stuff back out.
Well, could the motion be motion to advertise? With,
Those amendments.
yeah, contingent on the changes,
Absolutely. It's a great motion.
and then you'll send it back to us and the chief, and will we put it in paper?
Yep.
Okay,
I think it's perfect.
I'll make that motion. What I just said. Motion to advertise noise ordinance contingent on changes just discussed, and a second look by council chief.
I'll second.
Perfect.
Okay, we have a first by Counselor Carpenter to advertise the noise ordinance pending the minor revisions discussed and submitted. A second by Counselor Sperling. Are there any questions or comments? Isn't this neater just a table? You don't want to table it, any?
I think it's ready to go.
Okay. Fine. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. All right, very good. Thank you both for that presentation.
Thank you.
Brings us to item 13E, motion to approve Cribs Field use for the Riverview School District from August 10th to the 14th and 17th to 21st and 24th to 28th from approximately 2 to 8 p.m. for various sports. Is there a motion?
Make that motion.
Motion first by Counselor Sperling. Is there a second? Second. Second by Counselor Rodriguez. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Item 13F. This is regarding the council vacancy appointment. I want to thank again all three very qualified applicants for applying for this vacancy and your willingness to serve your community. I just want to double check that no one changed their mind in the duration of this over 2-hour meeting. Peace. We will now move to nominations, and the floor is open. At this time, is there a nomination to fill the council vacancy?
I'll nominate Jason Alberti.
We have a nomination for Jason Alberti. Are there any other nominations?
I would like to nominate Susan Llewellyn.
We have a second nomination for Susan Lualdo. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations are closed. We'll move to roll call vote.
So are you just asking council to state their preference?
Yes.
So the way the vote's gonna take place is that if the council member is in favor of Susan, they'll say Susan. If the council member is in favor of Jason, they'll say Jason. Only there were only two nominations.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I apologize.
And whoever gets the 4 will be the winner. If there's a tie, the mayor has the opportunity to break that tie.
Say their names. Yes. All right, so we'll do a roll call vote. Councilman Sperling.
Susan.
All right, Councilman Jamelis.
Before I vote, I wanted to thank all three candidates. They're all three terrific, and I hope that all three participate and, join our, outside committees and, continue to help our borough. All three of them are terrific in my view, and so it's a tough decision. I'm gonna go with Susan Llewellyn.
Thank you. Councilwoman Rodriguez.
I'm also going to.
Thank you. Councilwoman Carpenter.
Like John said, I like everybody. It's a tough decision. Right now, I'm gonna vote for Jason.
Thank you. Councilwoman Redzak.
I will vote for Susan.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Provenza. Thank you.
That is 6 votes in favor of Susan.
5 to 1.
1 vote. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes in favor of Susan and 1 vote in favor of Jason. Congratulations.
If you would like to invite Susan up to the dais, we will be starting right now.
Residents.
Yes.
You can't back down now.
Yeah, are you sure?
Just don't let her read that fine small print at the end.
Yeah.
That's your actions.
The oath of office, not the sergeant. Raise your right hand. I state your name. Having been duly appointed to the position of council member for the borough of Verona. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You get feet. And you get use this one, yeah.
So we are really throwing Susan in tonight because we actually need to, at this point, have a motion to adjourn into executive session to discuss the personnel matters, specifically regarding pay for our new sergeant. So this time I will accept a motion from council to adjourn into exec. We will be returning to vote.
I'll make that motion to adjourn to exec.
I heard Councilor Provenza first.
Second.
Second by Councilor Tucker. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? All right, we'll be adjourning into exec session. We will be returning.
Back there then.
Always feel you know, it's always just like you. Thanks. Thank you. So. God bless.
Well, sorry.
Appreciate it.
But they painted like a line there and then it goes all the way down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Answer what the chief said. Want some help? One or the other.
No, I'm good. I was just.
I didn't have access into my.
I see that. And you have the.
These chairs are scary. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we'll take a look.
Let's see.
Okay, thank you.
You're clear.
See you guys. Not a problem. Not a problem.
Here.
Yeah.
I have to talk to you though. I'll call you some.
Oh, okay. All right, see.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Give a shot. I'll get back to my Parks and Rec duties and.
Oh, gosh.
We got lots of things in this town.
Yes.
A lot of committees coming up here. Just be focused.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all fun. I'm helping someone.
Well, she had, yeah, she had another appointment that she had.
I'm gonna get a little thing together. We have 2 more breakfasts that we're gonna do. Plus, we're gonna do the August 4th for backpacks down here. National Night Out.
Okay.
So we'll have backpacks in that. Yeah, I'll type it up and I'll email it.
Okay, on this person the deadline.
Yes,
Okay.
you should be, hopefully this week I'll get to it.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You bet.
Appreciate it. Well, I don't think they even. And I actually.
Where's your clipboard at? I don't know what she looks like anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
I said she was a comment when she was in Italy.
Oh.
With her parent, with her dad. And, then she was
Yeah. And I think she'd forgotten about the meeting. We just reminded her today, she was like, some other stuff that I completely forgot about.
But we're not gonna be here next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Susquehanna, I have to say. There's. What do you want to do? This is fine. Oh, yeah.
Maybe it would be good for him, because he's out, he'll ask you questions, and stuff. I'm like, I don't know, you need to go out cheap.
That's not good for the
I saw there was like 3. Like,
They're very busy.
yeah, it's very, very busy, 3. The outstanding warrant. I just saw that on Facebook. Right around, like in the same area. Okay, so big.
Would I have to like text you personally or like? Oh, yeah, you did, yeah, I just, okay. We'll just go.
Guys go for 12 months, just 6 connecting communities.
So I have less, wanted to be less than a quarter. And they were dropping off to go to jails.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we're like. It is to make versus this is part-time officer. No. So. I just had a birthday. Yep, so.
I said I would never tell
I'll
you what
tell you,
my.
I have a son that's as old as you.
42.
No. No.
Jeez.
Okay, I still think he's in his 30s, but he
I
was so young to me. Now, I'm a 35-year-old and I great grandchildren, so. Let's go with that. Oh my God. I don't know.
Donald, you awake?
What's that?
You awake?
No, I am.
Blushing bride at?
She.
It's past 12:30.
She had dinner engagement with a friend of hers.
Oh.
So, Donald, you look like, okay, so an older actor from a long time ago. Did you ever hear of Richard Crenna?
I've heard of him, yeah.
That's who you look like.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You're right, he does, now that you say it.
Really, Richard Crenna.
Crenna, Richard Crenna.
Crenna, yeah. No.
Just like even the way you talk and.
No kidding.
Wow.
You do.
It could have been me.
I'll bet everybody that knows Richard Crenna always says, you look just like the road war.
That's it.
Be darned. They say there's a likeness of everyone in the world. So,
Doppelganger.
yeah. Look him up and see what he looks like. I can't remember. Looks like me though.
Yeah,
I think those are
He was in a, he was in a TV series. Oh, he was in a few TV series, but look him up, you'll.
CRENA?
I don't, I just.
How do you spell his last name?
CRPNNA.
Oh, CRENN.
I believe.
Interesting.
Mhm.
That's the first time I've been told that.
And I didn't think of it on my own either, until she pointed that out, but I see the resemblance.
Something about saying.
It's just enough. I was just gonna say.
Okay.
Does make a difference.
You're not on. 84.
Yeah, screen. What was it?
I think. Put that
I
in.
was 84-year-old man. Yeah, say so.
I think I'm better looking.
Did it take that long to look?
There's a likeness there, I mean.
I've never seen him in that he's growing up.
I didn't know I'm.
Yeah.
You need glasses.
I don't, you have to, I'm talking about the way he talks and everything, just there's a similarity.
There is, you're spot on.
Yeah. There's a similarity just because it's like some of the pictures that we show.
What movies did he star in?
Yeah.
He was TV series, a lot of TV series,
Yeah, you're right.
and if,
I know.
but he was in some movies too.
Is he dead now? Is he alive?
No.
Must have been older than me.
Oh, yeah, he's much
That's
older.
one of my talents.
So you have to look at the younger picture.
Yeah, I just did.
Oh,
I know I'm better looking, but I mean,
oh my.
Not yet.
where's your other half tonight?
His back's really, he's got that spinal stenosis.
Oh,
In August, he's going to the spine surgeon to see what he's.
oh, don't, be
Doing.
careful. No,
Yeah,
Do all
his back is like mush. Between 3 different lumbars, so,
oh, God.
what they do to correct this, they put little cages. In those spaces where the cartilage is gone,
Yeah.
it's turned mush. And his nephew had it done. I guess 2 years ago. And
Big
he
difference.
said it's the best thing he ever,
Oh, well, maybe that's a new thing now. I mean,
yeah,
oh, that's good.
but it wasn't it was a really involved surgery and he couldn't support his own back for, I think it was about 3 months. He had to wear a
Brace.
brace on it
Yeah.
because he needed that to fuse in there, you know. But he said, knowing what I know now, I do it all over again. So,
Well, that's,
but you know, there's
Big decision.
considerable age difference. His
yeah,
nephew
that's,
is- he's 52,
yeah, that's a bit, you know.
Jeff's 77, you know.
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
don't know. But I said, whatever decision you make, that's up
Yeah.
to you. But he's just in so much pain.
Well, you know, that can take years off your life, you know, the pain. So maybe do it and, you know, be happy for the next 10 years if you
Yeah.
can make it, you know.
It's not
It's
one
tough
I can
decision.
help him with. He's gonna have to make it on his own.
Yeah, yeah. Well, wish him the best.
Thank you.
Well. Yeah, it's a tough decision. Sure take a long time here. It's quiet.
It is. If you're not. You know, when they're rowdy, it's cause for concern, but it is quiet, so.
They may have all left out the other door. See. Hey, Tom, good work, by the way, the other night there. Was it last night? You guys swept the town. I mean, that was
Really last night.
fantastic. Wow, I think it's a first. 3 major arrests.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Say that regular businesses. There would be no. Regular businesses. Would be allowed to go door to door?
That's what I gathered. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought he said.
So is a service like a lawn service or roofers, is that considered a regular business or is that? Or services different?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
I think he needs to clarify that and put that into the newsletter because that's a very confusing issue.
I got a few questions. That's why I'm sitting here. I have 4 questions. I mean, they're quick. But I need answers.
It seems like they've made it much easier for these people to go around to your house.
Right.
To advertise it,
Right.
to solicit. Yeah.
And then he said something about. My question is, must posting on the front door be precluded by registering or getting on a list, formal list of registrants?
I'm gonna
With the borough?
I'm gonna look to do that. It's already.
Okay, but if I just post that no soliciting and I don't know to get on a list,
Well, the point is, if someone would register for a permit, we would give them that list and say, you can't go to these places.
I see.
Is that what that is?
Oh, okay, well, that explains it, so that.
Like a silent list.
One question,
You like a silent list, right? You'd be on a list that they would have to know about.
Yes.
So if they come to town, they still have to register.
That's correct.
Get that.
No
registered.
one registers, that's fine.
Yeah.
They don't have that.
To that, the main hall.
Yeah, so we can get into
Security concerns. All right.
I don't need it now, but you know. Yes.
No, I tried.
You-
They broke me. I did.
We're almost done.
Good, I'm already.
It's really good here.
boy, slap.
Hold on there.
Is this cool? Now.
Thank you. Everybody's cold.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Let's,
Right. Make a motion to return to exec session.
A motion by Counselor Carpenter to return from our exec session. Is there a second? Second by Counselor Provenza. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, I will accept a motion to add to our action items for the evening, the addition of voting on Sergeant Santucci's increase in pay rate to the sergeant pay in accordance with the MOU signed on August 13, 2024, to bring his new rate to $33.60 per hour. Is there a motion to first add this agenda item to our agenda?
Okay, so what's the motion?
To add this to the agenda, it's not on the agenda.
Oh, I will make a motion to add what President Redzak just said to the agenda.
Thank you. We have a motion first by Counselor Carpenter to add this to the agenda. Is there a second?
I will second the motion.
Second by Counselor Canellis. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Next, I will accept a motion to adopt the pay increase for our newly appointed Sergeant Santucci to $33.60 per hour in accordance with the MOU signed on August 13, 2024. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion first by Counselor Sperling. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Counselor Canellis. Are there any questions or comments?
Because that was not previously on the agenda, it has to go out to the public. for any
Public can make comments as well.
Are there any questions or comments? Can we do it like this from council or from the public?
What the minutes reflect, but there is no public comment.
Thank you for also checking online. With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Motion carries. Last but not least, section 14, comments from the public. Council.
I just have a few questions answered, not a whole lot.
Great.
I promise, 3. Okay, so, and probably Craig's gonna be the one who's gonna have to answer. This goes to the process for advertising the ordinances.
Yeah.
Where will they be advertised?
Valley News Dispatch.
Valley News Dispatch, okay, then, are they advertised in their entirety?
No,
Okay, so you're just saying they're gonna be advertised.
yeah, that
as-
you provide a summary, and then
Okay.
in the advertisement, it says, if you want to have the whole ordinance, you can, if they're available for inspection at the borough offices, at regular business hours.
Okay, and when they're available for inspection, do we come down and review them here, or do we get to take a copy with us to review it, or how does that work?
Either way, I don't know if they'd make you pay for a copy or if we even put them online. I don't.
Okay. Okay, that helps. Now, one other question, and this is something a little bit different. Do we have a separate construction / landscaping type equipment ordinance that at least requires that equipment be housed inside a fence or structure?
Don't know if we have one of those on the books right now or not.
Okay,
What type of equipment are you talking about? Like,
construction equipment of any type.
like
of-
someone like,
Construction.
like
equipment
that somebody
or landscape.
uses on the,
No, like if it's just there, that if somebody.
Like what happened?
Like backhoe,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That, and landscaping, trailers and all that stuff, just in. On somebody's empty lot or their.
Oh, like the one on the corner.
I think we had discussed that previously, and the mayor brought it up.
I was out for that.
So-
Do we have an ordinance for that?
No,
I'll
no,
look it
they
up.
do.
Wouldn't that be in the boat ordinance with the trailers and the?
It's like the recreational.
It's under
That's what
recreation.
you're saying. This is what brought it up to my mind, well, gee. Is it in there somewhere with this, but then it said recreational, I figured, well, no, this is.
We used to have an ordinance, and you can't store, like trailers and stuff on your property, that.
I'm sure that's still on there. I'm sure that's still in the books.
I think we actually had Jamie, the code officer, reach out to a property that had, I think it was like 3 to 5 trailers on there.
Okay,
And they did take most, if not all of them off. So I'll touch base with him and see if there's a property that you're looking at specifically. Afterwards, you can give me the address. I'll write it down and have Jamie take a look.
okay. All right,
Trailers have to be within an enclosed area, right? If you have a trailer, you have to have the garage for it, or how does that work?
I'll have to look at the wording of the old ordinance, John. I don't know it off the top of my head.
thank you.
Thank you, Obi. Are there
That was
any other
only two.
comments from the public?
Oh, I can buy one.
Thank you.
I just want to encourage, this peddler, issue, it's a little confusing to me, and I hope it is to, I don't know if it's to everybody else, but when it gets clear, they defined and voted on, maybe, an article in the newsletter might help
Hmm.
notify everybody of the dynamics of the law.
Of the soliciting.
Yeah, that's it. Soliciting, peddling.
I'm happy to do it, yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from comments from the public? If there's any online?
They all went to bed.
No,
That clock's the worst thing.
John, our chair of communication, is gonna work on a newsletter article, so some of that will be captured. We are also doing a couple resident letters specifically for Arch regarding the infrastructure. All right, with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
First by Councilor Simmons, second by Councilor Carter, motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Have a good night.